Today's episode is brought to you by Wireless Zone, located in Duns Corners, Westerly, Rhode Island. Wireless Zone in Westerly is an authorized Verizon realtor. There you can find all the latest and newest phones, including the iPhone 13. And if you're in the business for a new phone, you can get up to $440 off your new phone with a trade-in of an old phone. And if you have a broken phone, they have a repair zone. There, they can help repair your cracked screen. You need a new battery. They have you covered there in the repair zone. Check out Wireless Zone in Westerly, Rhode Island, located next to the Dunkin' Donuts in Duns Corners. All right, on today's show, I welcome on a very special guest. He is Lorenzo Almonte. He's a senior guard for Bethel High School boys basketball team. Lorenzo, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on this show. I appreciate it.
Of course, I'm doing well, man. I'm happy to have you on the show. It's awesome that we're able to connect through Twitter. It's funny how much social media could connect people, and
Yeah.
being in the backyard of Connecticut, right over in Rhode Island, and you're just doing some great things over at Bethel. So it's awesome that we've been able to connect.
Yes, sir. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
of course, anytime. So I want to start with, how is the season going at Bethel for you guys? You guys are underway. You played a total. I think your record is 3-2 now, or 3-1. How's the season been going for you guys?
Yeah, so our record right now currently stands at 5-2.
Yep.
We lost our very first game of the season against a very tough Danbury squad. But ever since then we've won four straight, five straight, and then we just lost last night. But other than that, I mean, I think we've been playing really well. We have a lot of new guys, not new guys, but guys who haven't seen varsity time ever. So just getting their feet wet in the beginning of the season was something big. But I think now they're starting to play with a little bit more confidence and things like that. So yeah, I mean, we're off to a pretty good start. And our schedule honestly only gets tougher from here. So we got to stick together and just keep pushing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what's like the competition like in the Colonial League? Because you guys, I mean, some great teams up in the area, but where you are up in that Connecticut area, I've known from coaching and just from word of mouth, and some catching a couple games in the state tournament as well too. So what's the competition like up there?
Oh yeah, the competition is very tough. I feel as if every team has one or more guys that you have to look out for. For example, we just played Stratford. They have this kid named Jaquan Kirkland, very good player, and other teams as well. So it's definitely some tough competition, definitely out there. So,
Yeah, and then in the past two recent games, I mean, you're playing some great competition yourself, but the past two recent games, you dropped 33 points against Brookfield, and then
yes, sir.
last night you dropped 34 points. I mean, what's that like for you, and like to be able to like put that scoring percentage on your back?
You know, for me, I just want to go out there and win. So if that means I have to go out and score, then I will. And the way I see it is if I'm scoring, then they're going to be focused on me and then I can get my teammates open looks. So honestly, for me, it's just doing whatever I can to help my team win, and things like that, just playing my role. So if that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do.
That's awesome. And then has your role changed from like your junior year, from your sophomore year, junior year to this year? Like, were you much of a scorer those past 2 years, or was it just this year that's kind of picked up?
um, yeah, so in my past couple years, I have not been scoring as much. We've had other guys in the team who were taking on that role, but we lost a lot of people. We lost through those years that were scorers. So now that was the case, I knew I had to step up and take on those shoes and take on that role.
That's awesome. And like for yourself to take on that role, like what's that adjustment, and like how do you like adjust to seeing different defenses? Like, I'm sure teams might be playing a box and one on you, or or maybe even a triangle and two, just like even double teaming you. What's it like to adjust, make those adjustments?
Yeah, it's very new to me because I'm not used to it myself. I know a couple games ago they threw a box and one on me, and I've never seen that before. I didn't know what to do. I asked my coach, "What should I do?" Because that's never happened to me before. So definitely seeing these different offenses that people are gonna start throwing at me, it's very interesting to see. But that just means that my teammates have to step up, and because if I'm taking out the game, then other guys have to step up, which I know they will do. So um, if they want to deny me, if they wanted to throw a box on me, then I'm more than okay with that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to like know that like over the past 2 years, you're now this guy. on the team, who's averaging, 27 points per game or even more now with your average of just being this prolific scorer, then you have to make these adjustments to seeing different defenses. So that's gotta be cool for yourself to experience that, huh?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, it definitely is. That means I'm doing something right, you know. So
Yeah. Teams had a game plan for you. So I mean, you're
yeah,
definitely the most talked about guy in the locker room. So that's awesome. That's great for you, and it just shows the improvement and hard work that you put into the game. You guys also had a holiday tournament where you were named the MVP. And I want to know, you in that holiday tournament, you averaged 28 points per game, but also what was it like to be part of an atmosphere? The holiday tournament was a lot of people there. What's that experience like?
yeah, it was a great atmosphere. It was held at Immaculate High School. I don't know if you're familiar with that school, but
Yeah.
they always, it's a great gym. They always have great fans. Danbury, they're a big school. They have like 4,000 kids in their school, so obviously there's going to be some sort of attendance.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a lot of kids from Danbury there for our first game. Same with us. We like to pack the stands as well, and when we played Abbott Tech as well, they also packed the sand. So the atmosphere was great. It was great. Something awesome to experience for sure.
That's awesome. And for yourself to be named MVP and of that tournament, I mean, obviously those are some great schools you're playing against. How does that feel for yourself?
It felt great because it was the beginning of the season. We didn't know what to expect really, even myself. But it was something cool to see, just to see how much I've been improving. To be able to earn that honor it was something big for me.
That's great. That's great, man. That's awesome. That's such a great thing for yourself. And now you got some games coming up. Is there anything that you're looking forward to on the schedule or a game, or you're just taking it game by game?
I'm just saying it game by game, especially in the league that we're in. You can't overlook anybody. Everybody's tough. So we have a game on Tuesday. We play a very, very tough Newtown team. So we're just looking at that. Just watching film from the last game, seeing what we could have done better, what we did good, what are some things that we can improve upon as a team. And then we're taking that, we're going to learn from it, and then just move on to the next game. So
That's great. That's a good attitude to have. I always call that the Belichick attitude, where you're just like you're on to the next game. I don't know if you're a Patriots fan or if you're a Giants fan. Or, I'm not sure what Connecticut football. um, do you now? Is there a personal goal or and a team goal for yourself this season? Do you have?
Yeah, so as a team goal, we have two goals actually as a team. We want to make the state tournament, and we also want to make the league tournament. Those are our two main goals that we are looking to achieve. And in order to make the state tournament, we need 8 wins, and the league tournament is just by seeding. So those are our two main goals as a team for sure.
That's awesome. Those are some great goals for team goals. And now I want to ask you too for yourself. Um, you're on the McDonald's All American nominee. What is that honor like just to be in that category and to be named?
It's definitely a huge honor. Just I know, just because I've always been watching the games and just seeing all the amazing talent that has been produced within those games, and just even being a nominee, even if I'm not selected to be on the team on the actual games, the roster, just even being a nominee is such a huge honor that I am more than blessed and thankful to have. So that's definitely something really amazing to see. And like I said before, just everything that I've worked for is now finally paying off at the end. You know, my one of my coaches, they say you pay your dues. I've paid my dues, and now it's my time. So
That, that's
something.
so it's awesome for you. Congratulations on that. That's just an honor. It's a once in a lifetime, thing to be
Yes,
even
sir.
considered in that category. Like you said, I was growing up, watch all the games, see all the guys, and it's cool. That's just amazing for you and for yourself for everything like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then last year was a weird, weird year, obviously with COVID. Got to be a little weird without any fans in the stands, but you still made the Colonial, like all team Colonial. What was that like for yourself? And and what was like last season for yourself up in Connecticut? Because it was different down here. When did you guys start, and how did it go for you guys last year?
Yeah, last year, like you said, it was a very weird year with COVID and everything, not having fans, and you can only have like one or two family members per player. So
Oh,
all
wow.
you had were your parents in the stands. Even if the school allowed it, maybe some didn't. Having your mask on too was definitely a big adjustment because playing with those masks on, they honestly suck. But if that's what it takes to have a season, then that's what it takes. But it was definitely a really weird year. So just being able to, because I know last year we only played like 13 games, I want to say, and everybody made the league tournament. There was no state tournament either. So I think our record was 3-10. Everybody made the league tournament. Unfortunately, we were a first round exit, and then yeah, but definitely making the all colonial team was a big accomplishment for me. And yeah.
That's great. And that's great. And so I want to kind of take a step back too about this off season, all the hard work that you have, like you said, you paid your dues and now you're starting to get recognized for all those dues that the work that you put in. What did you do this off season to kind of up your game, and like how much hard work did you to put into the game to see where you are today?
Yeah, so during the off season, I play AU basketball. There's never a time where I'm not playing basketball. So I was up in Trumbull, Connecticut, playing with my squad DTX. Just going around Connecticut, playing in tournaments, and just staying in shape, staying ready. And also another thing that I did, which was something very, very new to me, was I joined my school's cross country team. And part of the reason is because I had a teammate who is on my AAU team, and he's in insane shape. He was running up and down the court. And I asked him, I was like, how'd you get in such good shape? And he told me he ran cross country. So that kind of clicked in my brain. And I said that I wanted to do that. So I joined my school's cross country team, and it was rough the first couple of weeks. Is my body's definitely not used to that long endurance running 5 miles every single day. So it was definitely a struggle in the beginning, but I do think that it made me a better athlete. And it's showing now because I really don't come out of the game. So being able to just last is something that's really important to me. And I think cross country is a big reason for that.
That's crazy. And that's awesome. Yeah. Like cross country, definitely a big help for that. And like you said, I'm sure it was a huge adjustment to like run all those miles and stuff like that. So I'm sure you're playing more minutes now, and now you have to be tired as much. And then you mentioned DTX AAU team. I mean, up in Trumbo. What's it been like to play for DTX and like being a part of that AAU squad?
It's been an amazing experience. My coach, Dave Taylor, he's always been my mentor since I've been playing since 8th grade. And he's always had the philosophy of playing kids up a level. So when I first started in 8th grade, I was playing against 14-year-olds. And then after that, he put me up against 17-year-olds. So I've always been with the big dogs. I've always been, getting beat by a lot because I'm just this 13-year-old kid playing up against these grown men. So that's where the pay your dues comes from. He told me that I had to pay my dues back then, getting beat by 20, by 40, by these grown men. But now I'm starting to win more, and I've improved a lot from it. So at the AAU and DTX, it's been it's been big for me, and they've done a lot for me. So I'm really appreciative for that.
That's awesome. And congratulations for, coach recognizing that. And I want to know, what was it too, like just to play against older men, like, to learn from them and like, get, you said take the beat downs, but to get back up again from those, what was that like?
Yeah, so in 8th grade, he's always had this tradition of going down to California to play in this double pump tournament. The big ballers were there when LaMelo was big and things like that. So me being in 8th grade, a 13-year-old going to California to play up against this top talent in the nation, it was definitely scary. But I feel like it's made me a better player for who I am. These kids are just dunking all over the place, and I'm just like standing there. I had nothing, but definitely, like for example, I think we lost one game 100-15 because the whole team was just a bunch of 13, 14-year-olds, and we're playing up against these men. So definitely those beat downs that we took have definitely made us into a better player, because another thing is just being able to go out and see the other talent in the world, and not just being stuck in Connecticut, because there's so much more talent out there. It was just very interesting to see like how good these guys are out there. So it was definitely a big adjustment,
Yeah,
and it's made me a better player.
I mean, it's got to be crazy. Like, it's got to be great. I think one of the better things about AEU is being able to get out and see people that are not inside, like, in the state of Connecticut, or you're going different places, you're like seeing what competition's like in other worlds, because I mean, other parts of the country or even the world, it's crazy like how good, like you don't realize it when you're in your bubble, and then you step out of your bubble and you're like, oh man, I need to like really step up my game.
Exactly.
It's awesome. And then also you made the hoop group all-star team. What was that like for yourself?
Yeah, that was I think 2 years ago when things were normal. But yeah, so me and a couple other my teammates from DTX, we went down for that camp. And with camps like that, it can be kind of tricky because you don't know who your teammates are. There's just a bunch of strangers from all over. So you know, it was definitely a cool experience to do, and there was college coaches there, watching, and I was able to learn a lot from that tournament because also are from that camp. Because DJ Sackman, I don't know if you know who that is. He was also there at the tournament. He's one of the bigger skills trainers out there, so I was definitely also able to learn a lot from him as well. So it was definitely something cool to see.
That's really cool. That's awesome for yourself, and being able to have experiences and all these experiences with basketball and everything that you've completed in basketball and the accomplishments that you're now completing as well too. My one of my questions I always ask everyone is like, everything that you've done, where does all the passion for basketball come from? Where did it start? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so going back to the very beginning, I tried football first, and I was never really a fan of that. Because I would always say that I would always cry and complain and say they put me where the fat kids go, which is on the line, which is hilarious. So I didn't enjoy that. So then I stopped doing that, and then I tried baseball. Wasn't really a fan of baseball either because it was too slow for me. And then I was finally put into basketball, and that's where I found my love and my passion for it. And I've just stuck with it ever since I was in second grade and up until now. So that passion has definitely never lost, has never been lost for me. So yeah.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, you could see where it's all all led up to this, your senior year of basketball and everything that you're doing and completing, being 27 points per game, being the main guy on your team, which I think is fantastic for yourself. I also want to ask too, because you currently have a GPA of a 3.7, how hard does that work too in the classroom is paid off? Because that's absolutely amazing to balance basketball and school and to have that high of a GPA.
Yeah, it can definitely be tricky sometimes, just being able to manage your time. But I definitely, it's definitely tricky, but I stay after with my teachers, get extra help whenever I can. Um, and just when I come home from school, because usually my practices aren't until later at night. So I try to use my time that I can, like after school, to do it, which, obviously we want to go play video games or go take naps and things like that, which is tough. I would find myself doing that sometimes and not doing my work. But over the years, I've definitely learned how to manage my time more wisely and more efficiently. So it's definitely difficult, but when you start to find that routine, you start to get that rhythm going, then it's definitely helpful.
That's awesome, man. And that says a lot about your attitude and your hard work. It's just not on the court. It's also off the court and in the classroom. So just time management's a big thing. And definitely as you go forward in life, you'll definitely learn that as well too. So that's huge. So congratulations on that as well too with the 3.7. All right. Now, Lorenzo, I asked like 5 questions that I usually ask everyone, but it's just more outside of basketball. It's just some fun questions for people to get to know you and what you like to do outside of the sport. So one of my favorite things to ask people is, what's your favorite kind of food?
My favorite kind of food, that's a great question. I would have to say pasta, and more specifically penne and vodka sauce.
Oh,
Um, Reason being is because I actually worked at an Italian restaurant for like a couple months, and I would always get that, and it was just so delicious. So that's probably my favorite food. Yeah.
good choice. Good choice. That's one of my favorites as well too. And then what about, do you have a favorite NBA team?
um, I always joke and say my favorite NBA team is LeBron James. That's usually what I say. So LeBron is my favorite player. Wherever he goes, I go,
Oh
kind of
man.
thing.
What do you think about the Lakers this year with LeBron and them?
It's a rough start, with losing AD now because of his injury and some highs and some lows with Russell Westbrook, but I think the performance that LeBron's been putting on, especially in his, what year is he in? I lost track. His 30th year. That's
Yeah,
a joke.
yeah.
I'm just joking. Um, I think he's in like year 19 or something. He's still putting up these numbers, averaging like 28 or 29 points per game. It is insane, and it's definitely something that I look up to.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, he takes care of his body, does a good job. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
yeah, he's
oh
one of the all-time greats for sure. I mean, I'm a Jordan guy, but I can't knock
yeah,
LeBron for
yeah, yeah,
how the
yeah,
accomplishments
yeah.
that he's completed. And then, do you like football or anything? Do you have a favorite football team or sports team
Um,
outside of
I
basketball?
I'm not too big on football. I'll watch it, like I'll watch
Yeah.
the Super Bowl or whatever, but I'm not really too big on football. Actually, one of my neighbors, um, every Sunday he has this, I don't know how to explain it, like a Patriots sign that lights up
Oh,
every Sunday when I drive by his house. It's always lit up, so I know, oh, Sunday they're playing. So that's something that's funny.
you maybe could tell by his mood on Monday or Sunday night if you could tell if the Patriots won or lost.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly.
That's great. And then, do you have like a favorite basketball shoe that you like to wear or a favorite shoe for comfort?
I've one of the shoes that I find really comfy are the KD12s. I love the KD12s. I've been hooping in those a lot, and I enjoy them. They're nice. But I've just actually got a pair of Converse. They're called the AllStar Pro BB Highs or something like that because we're all about Nike and Adidas and Under Armour. So I'm like, let me see what Converse is doing, and just make a switch for a little bit. So I just got them and I'm excited to try them out because it's always Nike for me. I wanted to try some other shoes out. And I heard some good things about them too as well. So
Nice. Yeah, I haven't really thought about a Converse for a basketball shoe since my dad always told me about like the Chuck Taylors were like the shoe to wear back in the day.
yeah.
And yeah, so and then what about do you have favorite music that you enjoy?
Favorite music. Um I joke around and I say anything but country. I'm not too big on country. So that's just me personally.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
well,
And then my last question is favorite thing to do outside of basketball and sports.
outside of basketball and sports, my favorite thing to do would probably be playing 2K.
There you go.
I play 2K a lot, especially this new one. It's pretty good. So playing 2K whenever I can, because I know my time is very scarce, and I find myself not really playing video games as much. But whenever I do, I definitely I throw on some 2K.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, Lorenzo, that's all the questions I have for you. This has been a great conversation, man, and best of luck to you with everything going forward. Obviously, we'll have to get back on the show again for sure. We'll check in and see how everything's going in Connecticut and the state tournament with everything coming up.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor. I really appreciate it. So
Absolutely. Anytime. Always a guest. Once a guest, always a guest is what I might say.
thank you. Thank you.
Have a good one.